California just launched digital IDs, and while most people think it's just another convenient tech update, this quiet rollout could reshape how we live, work, and even how much control we truly have over our own time. This isn't just about technology. It's about you, your privacy, and the choices you make every single day. On the surface, digital IDs promise faster check-ins, smoother travel, and more security. But beneath that sleek convenience lies a system that could redefine what personal freedom really means. And here's the key. Everything we're discussing today is based on verified updates and expert analysis. So stick around, because by the end, you'll know exactly how this new shift could either save your time or control it for you. Number 1. The quiet rollout. Digital IDs arrive in California. It's official. California has taken a major leap into the digital future by launching its own version of a digital driver's license and ID system. The move, years in the making, is now live and available for residents who want to swap their physical cards for a sleek, smartphone-based version. The concept sounds simple. Instead of carrying your wallet everywhere, your driver's license can now live safely inside your phone, specifically in apps like Apple Wallet or the official CADMV Wallet app. Imagine walking out the door with nothing but your phone, tapping to verify your age at the airport, or breezing through ID checks without fumbling through your purse or pockets. On paper, it feels like the next logical step in streamlining daily life. Faster, smarter, and more convenient. But behind that smooth surface, there's a story unfolding that few are paying attention to. This rollout didn't happen overnight. It's been gradually tested, refined, and quietly introduced across select groups before opening to the wider public. The DMV calls it a pilot phase, but it's a significant milestone in California's long-term plan to integrate more official documentation into digital systems. The digital ID doesn't just show your photo and information. It interacts with scanners, verifies your identity instantly, and connects to databases in real time. That means, for the first time, your personal data isn't just stored in your wallet. It's circulating within a network every time you use it. And while most people are focusing on how convenient this sounds, there's an underlying shift happening here. Think about it. The ID in your pocket has always been under your control. You decide when to take it out, who sees it, and where it goes. But a digital version changes that dynamic. Your phone becomes your key, but it's also a gateway, one that depends on permissions, apps, and constant connectivity. Sounds convenient, right? But what's the real cost of that convenience? That's where things start to get interesting, because when technology begins managing our identity, the trade-offs extend far beyond saving a few seconds at the airport. Number 2. The promise: convenience meets control. At first glance, digital IDs seem like the perfect solution for a modern, fast-paced world. They promise smoother travel, quicker verification, and a future free from the hassle of lost cards or forgotten wallets. Picture this: you're running late for a flight, juggling luggage, coffee, and your phone. Instead of digging through your bag for a plastic ID, you simply tap your phone at the checkpoint, and within seconds, your identity is confirmed. No papers, no lines, no stress. It's the kind of convenience that feels tailor-made for a society obsessed with saving time and staying efficient. For anyone who values productivity, this might seem like the perfect upgrade. The ability to handle identification, payments, and access with just a few taps. The digital ID's appeal goes beyond speed. It fits seamlessly into the way we already live. We use our phones to pay for groceries, unlock cars, check into hotels, and track our health. Adding an official ID to that mix feels like the next natural step. California officials emphasize that these digital IDs are secure and encrypted, designed to make daily interactions smoother and safer. Imagine never worrying about losing your wallet again, or about someone stealing your physical driver's license. If you misplace your phone, your ID is still protected behind biometric locks, face scans, passcodes, and encryption layers. On paper, it's a dream scenario. Less clutter, more control, and the end of those small, time-wasting moments that pile up in a busy day. But here's where the story begins to shift. The same technology that makes life more seamless also makes it more trackable. Every tap, every scan, every verification is a data point, one that can be stored, analyzed, and potentially shared. While the promise of efficiency is real, it comes with invisible strings attached. Convenience, after all, is never free. It's the modern exchange rate, trading small pieces of privacy for a smoother experience. And as digital IDs spread, the line between efficient living and constant monitoring starts to blur. The promise is seductive, total convenience at your fingertips. But the question remains, who truly holds the control? Number 3. The fine print, what you're really giving away. Here's where the shine of innovation starts to fade, revealing the fine print most people never read. When you sign up for a digital ID, you're not just adding another app to your phone. You're entering a vast web of interconnected data systems. These IDs aren't simple digital copies of your plastic card. They're dynamic, data-driven profiles that record when, where, and how you use them. Each time you verify your identity, whether at the airport, a bar, or even a government office, a digital signal is created. That signal includes your location, the device used, the time of day, and sometimes even your biometric data. In other words, the system doesn't just confirm who you are, it also tracks when and where you prove it. Most users assume their information sits safely inside their phone, but that's only part of the story. In reality, digital IDs rely on constant communication between private software developers, state-level systems, and, in some cases, federal verification databases. When you scan or tap your ID, your data moves through these channels in fractions of a second. A seamless process, but one that leaves behind digital footprints. Think of it like a paper trail, only invisible and far more detailed. Each interaction paints a clearer picture of your habits. How often you travel, where you go, what devices you use, even the patterns of your daily life. For most people, this exchange feels harmless. It's just an ID check, they think. But multiply that by hundreds of small interactions over time, and suddenly the system knows far more about you than you might realize. This isn't about paranoia. It's about awareness. In the name of convenience, you might be giving away a map of your life, one that's constantly updating, stored somewhere you can't see, and possibly accessible to more than just the agency that issued your ID. You might save a minute at the airport or the DMV, but that minute could cost you a slice of your privacy, quietly traded for efficiency. The question is no longer whether the data exists, it's who gets to use it and for what purpose. Number 4. Time or freedom, the hidden trade-off. In today's world, productivity is almost a form of currency. We crave speed, simplicity, and efficiency in everything we do. Digital IDs seem to fit that need perfectly. They promise faster lines, instant verification, and a life with fewer interruptions. But with every shortcut comes a cost, and in this case, the trade-off isn't measured in dollars, it's measured in freedom. You'll move faster, yes, but you'll also be watched closer. Every time you tap your phone to verify your identity, you're leaving behind a small trail of behavioral data. When you travel, where you go, how long you stay, even what kind of phone you use. Over time, that trail becomes a detailed picture of your movements and habits, something no traditional ID could ever reveal. It's a paradox of modern life. The more we streamline our routines, the more visible we become. Think of it like getting a faster car that tracks every road you take, every stop you make, and every mile you drive. The ride is smoother, the journey quicker, but you're no longer traveling unseen. And for many people, this constant sense of being observed creates a subtle, background tension that's easy to overlook but hard to escape. A study from the Journal of Privacy and Technology Behavior found that individuals who are aware they're being digitally monitored tend to experience higher levels of stress and reduced focus throughout the day. Their mental energy gets divided between the task at hand and an underlying awareness that they're being watched. That's the hidden trade-off of our hyper-connected world. We gain convenience but lose quiet. Our devices, designed to save time, often end up consuming our peace of mind. Digital IDs may seem like just another app, but they represent something much bigger. A shift toward a system where efficiency is valued above autonomy. And while saving a few seconds might feel empowering in the moment, it slowly teaches us to accept surveillance as the price of participation. In a world built on speed, the question becomes unavoidable. How much of your freedom are you willing to trade for the illusion of more time? Number 5. The bigger picture, a step toward the digital economy. When you zoom out, California's digital ID rollout isn't just about identification. It's the first visible piece of a much larger transformation. The rise of the fully digital economy. We're moving into an era where almost every part of our identity, finances, and health will live in interconnected systems. It starts small, a digital driver's license here, a digital payment app there. But piece by piece, the physical world is being replaced by virtual infrastructure. First IDs, then wallets, then maybe everything. Your medical history, insurance, tax records, even access to basic services could eventually exist only in digital form, authenticated through a single ID on your phone. It's efficient, no doubt, but it also centralizes an extraordinary amount of power in one place. And one mistake, hack, or policy change could affect millions instantly. The transition sounds futuristic, almost seamless. Imagine walking into a store, paying with a digital wallet that automatically verifies your ID and applies health or membership benefits in the same instant. No forms, no waiting, no physical cards. Just data flowing invisibly behind the scenes to make life faster. For businesses and governments, it's a dream. Less paperwork, less fraud, more traceability. But for everyday people, it's also a narrowing of control. Once everything is tied to one digital identity, opting out becomes nearly impossible. If that ID gets suspended, denied, or compromised, access to essentials could vanish in seconds. We've seen glimpses of this future elsewhere, countries experimenting with digital currencies, social credit systems, and biometric verification for public services. Each innovation begins with the same promise. It'll make life easier. And to be fair, in many ways it does. But it also sets a precedent, one that links your freedom of movement, spending, and expression to a single system. At what point does convenience become control? When efficiency turns into dependency and autonomy becomes optional. The digital economy may look sleek and sophisticated on the surface, but beneath that polish lies a question we all need to ask. Are we shaping technology to serve us, or are we slowly adapting to serve it? Number 6. Lessons from other countries. To understand where California's digital ID system might lead, it helps to look at places that have already taken this leap. Around the world, digital identity programs have become powerful tools, some celebrated for their efficiency, others criticized for their overreach. Take Estonia, for example. Often called the most digitally advanced nation on Earth, Estonia built its entire government infrastructure around a secure, unified ID system. Citizens can vote, pay taxes, access healthcare, and even sign legal documents online, all through a single encrypted identity. For Estonians, it's a symbol of progress and trust in technology. Their system is often cited as proof that digital IDs can empower individuals and create a truly efficient society when privacy and transparency are prioritized. But on the other side of the spectrum lies China, where digital identification and facial recognition technologies have evolved into something far more controlling. In many cities, digital IDs are linked directly to a nationwide social credit system, where data from financial records, travel patterns, and even social interactions can affect a citizen's privileges. Miss a payment, speak out online, or break a minor rule, and your digital standing could take a hit, impacting your ability to travel or access certain services. It's a chilling reminder of how a system designed for efficiency can become a mechanism for monitoring and control when left unchecked. Then there's the European Union, walking a tightrope between innovation and privacy. With its General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, and ongoing debates about digital identity frameworks, the EU is trying to set a global standard, one that allows for modernization without sacrificing personal freedom. Citizens are given greater control over their data, deciding when and how it's shared. It's not perfect, but it shows that digital transformation doesn't have to mean digital surveillance. California's rollout might seem small by comparison, but history often starts with experiments. Each global example offers a glimpse of what's possible and what's at stake. It's not all doom and gloom, but patterns do repeat. If history is any guide, California might just be the testing ground for what's coming next, not just for the state, but for the rest of the country. Number 7. Protecting your privacy. What you can do right now. As digital IDs become part of everyday life, Protecting your privacy doesn't mean going off the grid. It means becoming more intentional about how you interact with technology. You don't have to disconnect. You just have to stay smart. The truth is, most privacy risks don't come from massive data breaches or high-level surveillance. They come from small, daily habits we don't even think about. The apps we download, the permissions we grant, and the settings we ignore all shape how much of our digital life is visible to others. The good news? You have more control than you might realize. Start with the basics. Limit app permissions. When you add your digital ID to a smartphone wallet or state app, take a moment to review what that app can access. Does it really need your location all the time? Can it run in the background when you're not using it? Many apps default to broad permissions because it's convenient for developers, not for you. Tightening those settings can drastically reduce how much personal data you share. Next, use privacy-focused browsers and search tools. Platforms like DuckDuckGo or Brave, for example, block tracking scripts that quietly collect behavioral data while you browse. You can even set your mobile device to restrict ad tracking entirely, a small change that adds a surprising layer of protection. And perhaps the most overlooked step, read what you're actually agreeing to. Before enabling a digital ID or linking it to third-party services, take a minute to scan the privacy policy or terms of use. Look for keywords like data sharing, third-party access, or storage duration. These tell you exactly where your information could end up. Finally, remember that privacy isn't about fear. It's about awareness. By setting boundaries with your technology, you regain control over your data, your focus, and your time. Digital convenience doesn't have to mean digital exposure. The key is balance, embracing the benefits of modern systems while staying vigilant about the trade-offs. In a world that's always connected, mindfulness is your strongest defense. Number 8. Managing your digital time. Staying productive, not controlled. Technology was meant to simplify our lives, to give us more time, more freedom, and more mental space to focus on what really matters. But somewhere along the way, the tools that promised to make us more efficient began quietly consuming our attention. Digital IDs, while practical, are part of that same ecosystem. They make daily tasks quicker, checking in, verifying, paying, but they also deepen our dependence on screens and systems. The challenge now isn't just about protecting your data, but protecting your time. Tech should save you time, not steal your focus. One of the most effective ways to maintain balance is to set boundaries with your digital habits. Start by limiting how often you access ID and wallet apps. You don't need to check or open them constantly. These tools are meant for utility, not routine browsing. Setting screen time limits, even for government or payment apps, helps reinforce a sense of control. Your time should belong to you, not your device. If your digital ID app sends notifications or reminders, consider turning them off. Constant alerts subtly condition your brain to stay in reactive mode, which is the opposite of focus and calm. Another smart move is to keep analog backups of essential information, a physical ID card, printed documents, or even a written list of emergency contacts. It may sound old-fashioned, but these tangible safeguards keep you grounded and prepared in case your phone dies, the app malfunctions, or the network fails. They also remind you that not every part of your identity needs to live in the cloud. Finally, embrace digital minimalism, the philosophy of using technology intentionally, not impulsively. Audit your digital space every few months. Remove apps you don't need, disable auto-sync features, and organize your digital files so they serve you rather than overwhelm you. The less cluttered your digital life is, the clearer your mind becomes. Productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters with focus and peace. By treating technology as a tool rather than a tether, you reclaim not just your privacy, but your most valuable resource, your attention. Number 9. The future forecast, what experts predict. As digital IDs take root in California, experts around the world are already debating what comes next. Economists, technologists, and policy analysts see this rollout as just the first step toward a deeply integrated digital future, one where identity, finance, and health systems all converge into a single, streamlined ecosystem. The idea sounds efficient. Imagine a world where your driver's license, bank account, vaccination record, and tax information all live within one secure platform. Transactions would be instant, paperwork would vanish, and bureaucracy could become a thing of the past. For governments and corporations, the appeal is obvious: fewer errors, faster verification, and massive cost savings. But for individuals, that same efficiency could come at a steep price. Some digital policy experts warn that the next phase may involve integration with banking systems, where your identity is directly linked to how you spend and save. In theory, this could reduce fraud and speed up financial transactions. In practice, it could also create a system where access to funds becomes dependent on compliance with digital protocols. Meanwhile, health systems are already exploring the use of digital IDs for patient records, insurance verification, and prescription tracking. Again, the benefits are clear: faster care, fewer administrative errors, and easier coordination between doctors and pharmacies. But what happens when that same network starts sharing data across different sectors? The boundaries between what's health information and what's personal information could begin to blur. Governments may also begin offering incentives to go fully digital, such as tax perks or faster services for those who opt in. While that might sound harmless, it could gradually create a two-tier society, one where digital participation becomes the norm, and those who resist are quietly left behind. The infrastructure for that world is being built now, piece by piece, often without public debate. Whether this future becomes a tool or a trap depends entirely on how we use it, and how much we demand transparency, accountability, and choice along the way. Because once everything is digital, opting out won't just be difficult, it might be impossible. Number 10. The takeaway: control, freedom, and awareness. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, one truth becomes clear: convenience isn't free. It always comes with a cost. Digital IDs might simplify our lives and make day-to-day tasks faster, but they also ask us to surrender small pieces of our autonomy in return. Every new technology carries this trade-off. The key is not to reject progress, but to approach it with awareness. Awareness is power, the ability to understand how these systems work, what they collect, and how they shape our choices. The danger lies not in the technology itself, but in our willingness to use it without question. Think about how quickly digital tools have woven themselves into your life: phones, banking apps, social media, smart homes. Each one began as a convenience, something to make life easier. But over time, these small conveniences collectively rewired how we live and think. Digital IDs are simply the next chapter in that evolution. They could streamline society, reduce waste, and open new possibilities. But they could also tighten the net, making every movement, transaction, and decision traceable. The difference between a helpful system and a controlling one often comes down to awareness, regulation, and public demand for accountability. Every new technology gives power to someone. The question is, will it be you? If you understand how these systems operate, you can use them to your advantage, drawing the line between what serves you and what controls you. But if you adopt them passively, convenience becomes the leash, and data becomes the chain. That's why conversations like this matter, not to spread fear, but to spark thought. We live in an era where attention is the most valuable currency, and freedom depends on where we choose to focus it. The digital age isn't inherently good or bad. It's simply a mirror, reflecting how we balance comfort with consciousness. The future will be shaped not by technology itself, but by the awareness of those who use it, those who understand that true control doesn't come from faster systems, but from informed minds. Before you go, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you see digital IDs as progress or as control disguised as convenience? Drop your perspective in the comments. Your insight helps shape these discussions. And if you haven't already, check out our previous video. It connects perfectly with what we discussed today. We pour countless hours into bringing you research and clarity, so if you value that effort, please hit subscribe. It's just one click, but it means the world to us.